Why, hello. Oh, I feel so regal. The sleeves of this dress remind me of clouds. The white reminded me of like a fresh canvas yet to be painted. The more time I spend talking about fitness, the more and more I see how the mental side of it is tied in with the physical side, especially with running. Running is something I do to really strengthen and callous my mind, as David Goggins would say. Over the past few months, I've collected quite a few quotes that I really liked and I've applied them to my training. Schedule in the failure. I really like this mindset about failure. So see the fails as an inevitable process that you have to go through to achieve your goal. Aim for success, but schedule in for failure. When you're learning a new skill, such as ice skating, tell yourself, I'm going to expect to fall at least 20 times before I can even skate backwards. And so you end up seeing each failure, in this case, the falling over part, almost like a rep that you have to go through in the gym to complete your set. And this is a really great mindset because rather than disillusioning yourself that you're going to fail, we consider each failure drawing ourselves closer to what we want to achieve. It's inevitable and a necessary part of life to build like resilience and mental strength, because with each failure, you're nearer to reaching your goal. Use the failure as fuel for where you want to be. What you do on your bad days means more than what you do on your good days. This goes back to like what I was talking about in terms of habits and consistency. Did you make yourself better today? Like even if it was a bad training session, you're making yourself better just by showing up. We're motivated by discomfort, not pleasure. Celebrate the small wins. They're fun and they keep you going. It's now really well known that social media affects our mental health in a negative way. And I think we've got to remember, this is another great quote by Morgan Housel, I think it's pronounced. He says, social media makes more sense when you view it as a place people go to perform rather than a place to communicate. There's always going to be someone stronger, more flexible, better at X, Y, Z skill than you. It's not a zero-sum game, and I have to remind myself this as well, because we all know that comparison is the thief of joy, and I tend to do that quite a lot, even subconsciously. Like someone else's successes don't spotlight your failure. And we tend to compare our inner selves because no one really understands what's going on in our heads apart from ourselves. We compare our inner selves to everybody's outer selves. So for example, you've just held your longest handstand. You've achieved 5 seconds, let's say. And then you open up social media and there's someone holding a handstand for 30 seconds. Maybe a better way of framing things is looking at said person and understanding what they gave up to gain that skill. For all the time they spent learning how to handstand, they were giving up time that they could have been learning another skill or doing something else with their free time. I'm full of quotes today, so you're going to get that because I think it's a really nice way to deliver information if we can condense it in phrases. And I love Thomas Sowell's phrase that there are no solutions to anything, only trade-offs. There's no perfect life. There's always something that we've had to give up to get another thing. Perhaps, instead of making endless to-do lists, it may be better to think about the things we're willing to sacrifice and give up to attain new objectives we've set for ourselves. Deferred happiness syndrome. The common feeling that your present reality is a mere prelude to the idyllic future. That idyllic future is only a mirage that will fade as you approach the future, revealing that prelude that you rushed through was in fact the bit you should have enjoyed. Make the most of the moment and learn to fall in love with the learning process. Even if you do achieve your goal, you don't want to look back and realize that you hated every minute of the training that you made yourself do to achieve the goal. When I was 20, I wanted to be a millionaire. Now I'm a millionaire, I want to be 20. And I think that's a really great phrase to remind ourselves that even you can be the richest person and have all the material possessions, but something we will never be able to get back, no matter who you are, is your time. So make sure you use your time wisely and don't let that, I hope that doesn't feel like a pressure, like, oh, I must use my time wisely, because I've definitely been guilty of feeling pressure sometimes, knowing that time is finite, but it's just making the most of situations and maybe lowering your expectations or maybe having less, because no one can predict the future, right? So one of the reasons I do this channel is because I want to take you guys along with me at the ups and downs of trying to have a stronger, more mobile, more flexible, and better adaptive body.